We are going to kick this week off in what looks like a gap to the upside. Getting back up into this upper 2-day balance. We can see the overnight profile is 100% net long. These two levels that you see marked here, the 38.84 and the 38.76, is a prior highs from this previous 2 days. Just in case the market bids back down, I expect those to be mechanical levels after the open, that we can see some shorter time frame traders come in and try to buy the market. With opening up on a gap, we can you see marked here, we can expect the market to try to offer the market down and close that gap, and that's one thing that we'll be looking for. Remember, according to the market profile, any market that opens up on a gap and does not close, we want to go with the gap. And yeah, take a look around the market real quick at some of these stocks and see how they're doing. Apple, we can see, is gapping up as well. Microsoft not gapping up from its close, but not really gapping up from the highs. You can see some craziness going on in Google, but Google looks to be opening close to, or it's still at least inside its Friday's range. Amazon is right at that 0 gamma level, and actually, speaking of that, I need to update these 0 gamma levels. So let me do that real quick. I'll also post the link to the video in the Discord under general chat.
Kind of lonely in here.
Is it?
It's kind of lonely in here. It's just you and me.
Nice. Every Monday, everyone's still asleep probably. Maybe they thought the market was closed today. Who knows? That's all right. Paste script. Close. Study. Oh yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know why. See here. Permissions. Oh, that's probably why no one can see it. I put. Oh, it's not adding. That's why, because nobody could see the channel. I don't know what the deal is. Yoga. Should be good now. Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh well.
Did you post it in the live trade room link channel?
Yeah. It's not.
I just see July 15th. I don't see July 18th, a new July 18th link.
Oh, really? I posted a new link this morning, 9:03. Morning, Adam.
In the trade room, the live trade room link channel?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Let me see here.
I just clicked the same link that's always been there.
Yeah.
Like it's the same link for the last, I don't know how many days.
Yeah, I always just use the same one. Makes it easy. The only thing I changed about the thing is because it had access to everyone who was in like the 7.5, but I just made it so everyone who has TPO grad should be able to join. But I guess a lot of people probably don't have that, so let's just do this. Yeah, buddy?
Will you still be on?
At 10? Yeah. I don't know. Just depends on how the market goes, pal. Why? You want to play some Pokemon? Huh?
Because Reggie. Ate again.
Oh, not today, buddy. We're not going to the arcade again today. Maybe a different day. Okay. All right, so we can see that zero gamma level shifted down on Amazon, so that's where they're selling all these puts at. There we go. Good morning, Trin. Peter, what's up? Yeah, plus you're a mod, Alex. Yeah, that's why I think you could see it, because I had deleted a bunch of permissions because I thought we got a bunch of bots on Friday. I didn't want a bunch of bots swarming a Zoom channel as well too. So, but it looks like we're good now. Let's keep taking a peek around. We can see Tesla looks like it's probably going to be opening up on a gap as well. Brookshire opening up on a gap. UNH on a gap. Johnson & Johnson on a gap. Johnson & Johnson has earnings into tomorrow, so you know there's decent odds if Johnson & Johnson gets a nice boost going into today. There might be some good put options to play. Meta opening up on a gap as well. Visa also. Nvidia also opening up on a gap. ExxonMobil opening up on a gap. Walmart in its Friday's range. Procter Gamble. Oops, skip JP Morgan. MasterCard opening up on a gap. Lilly. Oh, inside Friday's range. Is the TPO profile available in TradingView? Yes. Let me show you how to get there. So you open up TradingView. We can see Bitcoin made a nice move, and so did ETH over this weekend. If anyone was watching that, that was a pretty big move over the weekend for ETH. Bitcoin had a decent move as well. So with this, you click on the indicators button, which is here, and then just type in TPO. I'm getting feedback. Are you guys hearing that? I don't know. And then this one that's by Druther is the one you're gonna click, and you will. It depends on what you're putting it on. Like, so if you're putting it on Bitcoin, the settings that I have for Bitcoin look like this. I have a auto tick size off, and then I have average tick size 48, 5 for the height, and then manual tick size I have on 100. The rest of the stuff you can just, you can edit. You can also make it so the profiles are by session. So like the Asian session, London session, US session, pre-market session, right? All these availabilities for it. So it's pretty customizable. I just have it on a 24-hour session, just makes it a little bit easier. And then if you are switching it, to like the ES futures, or even if you're going to switch it over to ETH, you can see ETH is way up here now. If you're going to switch it to ETH, you are going to have to mess with it a little bit. So typically I'll just leave the volume profile on for those other cryptos. But for the bigger ones, like you could definitely put on ETH, you could definitely put it on Bitcoin, but for like, some of the smaller tokens that you trade, they're not gonna really show up on there, so the volume profile is probably gonna be the way to go. So keep looking around real quick. Coca-Cola, Bank of America is getting a nice little boost today. Do they have earnings? I think they had earnings pre-market. Where is PowerPoint at? Bank of America did have earnings pre-market today. Go back to Bank of America. See what their earnings were. Earnings 0.77 estimated, 0.73 actual. So they actually missed earnings. There's a lot more that goes into earnings besides just the Just the percentage. I put it in there. You need it? So it does look like there's some participation in the bigger sectors. Is your Discord paid, Peter? No, it's not a paid Discord. Nope. Yeah, hopefully no one's having issues getting into the Zoom. It looks like everyone's good now. Let me pull this up real quick. So we can see some earnings that are going to be coming out this week that are going to be, you know, just important to pay attention to some of the bigger names, right? Bank of America, some big financials. We've got IBM after the close today. Tomorrow before the open, we've got Johnson & Johnson, Halliburton, or however you want to say it. Not really anything crazy. We've got Netflix, right? Netflix is going to be a huge one. Netflix has normally been a big market mover. So if Netflix decides to crash again, and we've seen Netflix for like the past 4 earnings in a row just totally take a dive. If it does again, that definitely could drag the market down a bit. Tesla earnings on Wednesday after the close. So we can expect maybe some rallying until Wednesday. That's kind of what I'm thinking possibly happens this week. Buzz, hello. We've got AT&T, which is a big one, right? We know Warren Buffett's big into AT&T, Verizon on Friday, and Twitter on Friday as well before the open. So those are kind of the ones that I'm really looking for this week. You know, some possible opportunity to play these. We'll kind of see how the week goes on. Let me post that link for you there, Peter. I'll have to figure out the whatever it's called, the Zoom issue. But that's not going to happen today. That'll happen after. Maybe just repost it, so. There you go. Peter's in. Welcome. All right. Should be good now. Zoom is all good? Okay, thanks, Kim. I see the link from Friday worked. Yeah, it's the same link. I don't really change it. I mean, I just repost it. Monica, hello. Alexa, hello. Welcome, welcome. So if you're just tuning in here, remember, if you do want to join our Discord, go ahead and post a comment down below, or just scroll up a little bit in the chat and click on the link that I just posted. Only thing I ask is that you be positive and respectful, right? We have a solid community of good people, and we don't want to tarnish that, right? And I don't really have any tolerance for it. So if you start to come in there and start to hate, I'll send you a DM and be like, yo, knock it off. Give you a little Joe Biden whisper, and then that's it. The market, after getting a reaction this morning off of this higher point of control, or this VPOC, right, Virgin Point of Control from the overnight session, has come down and has really stayed in a very tight range and a lot of volume coming in. We're still going to be opening up on a gap, which is about 9 minutes left until the market opens, so we can kind of expect the gap to hold. We will be looking for a close of that gap on the open, and if the market does not close the gap, we know that we want to go with the gap. We do have a bit of weak structure below, as you can see. Right, there's not really, below this area here, there's not really much support until we get down here, and then even then we have some single prints from our T2 low, and that's just kind of signifying that we do have some short sellers here that may have been trapped. Some momentum sellers are Jared, let me write his name. Our Jareds are trapped right here. Crypto Mojo, good morning. Pop, good morning. Double R, good morning. You know, so could be trapped down there still waiting to get out of their position. So any bid down could cause a bit of short covering, and that's kind of what I'm going to be looking for this morning is, you know, possible look to close that gap. If they do close that gap, I expect to see some responsive sellers inside this area, and that could keep the market going up. It will be interesting as we get Tesla earnings on Wednesday that, you know, depending upon if they're good or bad, could, you know, cause the market to go up. We do have a lot of political news or geopolitical news coming out throughout the weekend. You know, one major factor being the gas crisis that's going on in Europe, a possible, you know, basically shutdown until Friday, and that, I mean, that's gonna, you know, it's just kind of crazy what's going on over there. There's just I mean, it's just nuts. So we're definitely gonna have to be looking out for that. Hold on here. Yeah, not really much going on here. If we take a look here, look at the ES here. Actually, let's go back to the... Typically when we see the market get like really emotional like this, it's just a bunch of intermediate time frame traders, not really any larger players in the market so far. So there's some average size money, but nothing really too crazy. That's what's kind of causing these gaps, right? These intermediate time traders are trapping shorter time frame traders and then really kind of pushing them around. This week, I do kind of expect, you know, a possible test of at least one of these gaps, right? We have this gap below us. It's extremely close. We do have a smaller gap from that holiday week below as well, but this upper gap has just been holding forever. So, you know, I feel like this might be the week that we get it, and this is kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a bunch of shorter time frame bears, right? People that are just wanting the market to go down for some reason instead of just, you know, paying attention to what the chart's doing. They're trying to trade their emotions, which is something that I always recommend against, but I expect them to get trapped around here. They're going to short this 50 EM or SMA on the daily chart. They'll probably get trapped. If we balance right below it, I expect us to pop up, and then the target's going to be inside this gap, probably around that 4K level. The next balance up above that is going to be way up here. So should the market gain some support and we get some initiated buyers showing up, this is the balance area that I'll be looking for it to test, and it's around that 40.75 level. at the low. Resting bids for 100 sitting at 89, 89 quarter, 90, and 91. Oh, I do see that on the DOM, yeah. That's small size to start. We'll just have to wait until the market opens. We got about 4 minutes to see any real bids. I'll make this small again. I added the cumulative tick, right? This is another indicator from Shadow Trader. Basically just showing the cumulative tick. I know a lot of people had sent me a message asking if I had looked at it. I don't really look at it. I don't really think it's super important, but I do like it on... I like the cumulative volume delta when I trade crypto. It tends to give pretty good divergence indications, but I just wanted to add it on there and see what we can see in some of these stocks, and you know, maybe we'll just see if it's worthwhile holding it on. If not, I'll end up taking it off. Those type of bids at each order are usually players I see on the MBO CME. Oh yeah. Yeah, 106, 83, and 107. So decent size right there is what that is. Let me go ahead and find our intro. All right, here we go. Who's ready to get started? We've got 2 minutes left. Oh, whoa. What's going on here?
Can you hear me, Brad?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, nice. I got it working.
Here we go. All right, hopefully everyone is motivated now, ready to get started. We're ready to start the day. We've got about 1 minute until the market opens. This is that time where you want to, maybe turn off your screen real quick, get some meditation in, and then wait for that bell to bring you out of meditation and ready to rock the day. Oh, you think it was on mute? Oh, Cam, you know what? I don't have the volume on for I don't have the volume on for Zoom. You guys missed it. Might be. No. Looks like some profit taking right here before the market opens. There's our open. Remember, we're opening up on a gap. We're going to look for the close of that gap, and if the gap does not close, we want to go with the gap. These two levels here, if you're joining us a little bit late, are just previous highs. We'll just let the market work itself out here. We're still just opening up on the gap. Market's trying to find an offer, find a bid. We're below the open here. 1 tick above the open. little bit of mechanical selling off of this open. A 24-hour VWAP is down here at 38.92. Back to the open. So you've got offer on the open, it moves out of the way. There goes the rally. So unable to close that gap and really unable to correct very much overnight inventory. You're going to want to look at volume to step up above the open. Offers coming in at the 00 at 3,900. Mechanical selling. Looks like the volume is coming in up higher, so we can kind of expect this thing to, you know, I kind of expect this keep going. These are weak sellers selling on a very psychological level. There's the pop. Hopefully everyone's in the long. Ooh. Big buy orders, 3,900, the 200 lots. Bot got into an AMC call, looking good so far. Nice to hear. Back to the VWAP. Watch for volume to come in up here. You can see it is coming in. And this is that first area, that first target, this 38. I think I wrote it down at 12. That's where the VPOC's at, but this 38.8, 38.9 to 38.12 is an area where we can kind of expect some responsive sellers possibly to show up. Call put ratio is 63 to 32 for the call side. A little bit of volume stepping down here on the 4/4. 244 lots. Definitely they're trying to offer this level here. So if you are in the long, this is an area where, you know, probably maybe sell into some strength. We are seeing a little bit of offers and they're starting to push price down a little bit. We'd like to see these buyers hold this 02 level. If not, the target for these sellers probably be the open, but it doesn't look like they have much going on here. And they got it. Right. Yeah, 200 offer at the 4/4, yeah. So watch for buying off the open, and they're going to have to move down to offer this level below this 97. And it looks like they're just kind of looks like they just covered right there. Sellers got down a little bit because they got trapped at the open, and as soon as they got below the open, they covered, and we popped right back above the open. So selling looks still pretty weak. Just had a market sell 593, took 2 points to fill. Back down to the weekly VWAP at 94. And I guess it's just, I mean, at this rate, it's just 24 hours since today's Monday. We can see Apple down. Let's take a look around the block real quick. Oil's up almost 5%, still below $100 though. ES is still up Hasn't closed that gap below. Nasdaq's up about 1%. The Russell's up 1.75. The Dow is up 1%. Bonds are down 0.23. Apple's up 0.3. AMD's up almost 2%. Amazon up 1.75. Meta up 1.36. Microsoft up 1.25. Netflix up 4%. Those are killing it. Seeing offer moving down here to the 00. So it's starting to flip. So these are shorter term time frame traders. That's what it's telling us, that are trading around this open. So we've got sellers that were selling the open. They got trapped, popped above. They bought the open. They popped up. They covered, and then they pushed back down. They sold up at probably that 4 quarters where those sellers, they chase the price back down below the open. But no real significant follow through yet. They need to hold, sellers need to hold price below this 97.50, and they're not doing a great job here. Remember, a market that goes back and forth, what was that? I thought someone was saying something. A market that goes back and forth above and below the open is typically a sign that shorter term time frame traders are in, and the market is waiting for more information to make a decision.
That might have been me. Did you hear me? I said good morning.
Oh, good morning, Dan. Yeah, that was you.
I was up too late last night. We were watching this new show that Denise likes called First Blood about serial killers. We watched the one on the lady from Monster
I haven't seen it.
in Florida. Yeah, it's brutal.
Oh,
I've actually seen that show. That's good.
Yeah, it's trippy. It's trippy how they are able to pick out what the person did after talking to them and how their life went and why they became the way they are. It is just, if it isn't a footprint for a serial killer, then shit, I don't know what is. I've seen Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, and I've seen her, the monster one.
The Night Stalker was the craziest story.
Yeah, that one there was. I can't believe that these guys got caught so fast when usually these serial killers last for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then these two got caught within 2 years each. It also shows you how quickly these police are able to put together information now with the internet. But
yeah, why do you think Hunter Biden's getting, he's on TMZ every weekend measuring his crack?
Mm-hmm. Dude, did you see that video call that they asked the press secretary about the other day? Like you could see Joe Biden. He like calls Hunter Biden. He's like, "Yeah, there's a story coming out about you in the Times, but don't worry, you're in the clear."
Yeah.
It's like, damn. Sounds like he's doing nothing wrong.
That's what Joe Biden said to Hunt, his son.
Yeah, yeah. He says there's a story coming out about you in the Times, but don't worry, you're in the clear. He says they don't know anything. That actually worked out last trade. I got long off the 95 and then rode it all the way up, got out at the top up there.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, when we
Yeah,
get the market moving back and forth across the open, you definitely got to be patient and wait for it. And then, like we said, when we see that volume move down at that night, it was at 94 quarter, and we couldn't push through it. The tempo just slowed up, and then all of those buyers just liquidated there. So we are seeing a little bit of short covering down here on that 98. It looks like, or a little bit of sellers moved in around that 98 on that open this time. So it looks like there was probably a little bit of mechanical selling. And, this is indicative of the shorter term time frame traders, because so far the trading has been very momentum based. Once it decides to go one direction, you see people pile on, get a fast move or a kind of a volatile move, and then boom, it pops back. So you look at the breadth, right? The breadth is 6-1 on the NYSE, almost 4-1 on the NASDAQ. Information technology and healthcare lagging today. Financials, consumer discretionary, industrials, energy, and materials really carrying us. And then consumer staples, communication services, utilities, and real estate really lagging behind. So there we go, back above the open. We know there's a mechanical seller on that 98, so we can kind of expect to see them offer it again above the 00. That's where we'll probably see the pop back to the upside if they're able to get back up above that. That's where it kind of looks like the seller is sitting. You kind of see these, they call them shelves or cliffs or fiddle faddles, whatever they call them, whatever you want to call them, right? We just call them volume. Right on the 3,900. Whoa, someone's volume super loud. Jared, yeah, turn that down. Or don't share that. I don't
Going
want
for a long.
In case you didn't know, I entered on. Sorry, guys.
But yeah, so we can see where the seller is at. We have overnight inventory, 100% net long. So this seller is just going to probably keep trying to sell and cover. We know that we shouldn't really be getting in any shorts until, we get confirmation that this gap below is going to close. We want to just be staying patient and buying some of these dips. I mean, not saying that there isn't opportunity for the short side, right? Obviously, we've gone back and forth across the open a few times, but, the safer play is to go with any gaps that don't fill. So,
Jared, are you running more than one account?
yeah, he is. He has 2 accounts.
Because I downloaded that trade copier, and I tried it out last night. It's not bad.
I'm not a fan of the trade copier.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't be. If you're trading less amounts across the board, I mean, it helps people. Well, I don't know. I mean, because you trade mostly out of just one account, right, Brad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I only trade 2. I have 2 PA accounts that I trade.
And if you guys remember correctly, on Thursday, I told Jared I was going to be holding these 2 longs through the close, and he's like, it's going to crash on Friday, and then it didn't crash, and then here we are gapping up again. So just sitting here, about 200 points away from where Jared told me the market was going to crash. 200 points times 2 lots, you guys can do the math.
Hey, all I'm saying is it hasn't broke this top like it should have already. Okay.
Well, so
it will.
if we take a peek, and so this is, I think, sometimes some people, when we look at the trade view, might be confused or might really not understand how to interpret this. What I'm looking at when I'm looking at this volume is we see the volume from Friday on the NYSE is a little bit less, but look at the advances in the issues, right? So basically every participant was just lifting the offer all day, which caused the market really to rally, but not really a huge increase of volume. So that's telling me, and then what happens is I take this and go to this website here. It's called Trading Stir. All right, this one's Bitcoin. We go over to tradingstir.com, COT futures only. Click on the S&P, and we can see here by looking at this, and this is telling us that dealers got long and then cut shorts, right? But they added to the long last week and then cut almost twice as many shorts, so that kind of doubles up for the buying. which is what causes that move up. And you can see here it's about the same, except for these institutional money didn't really add as much to the long or cut as many shorts as they did. They added almost double what they added to the short, so that was probably a momentum play, but that didn't take us to the gap, kind of like Jared was talking about. So we had a lot of buying coming in, right? People adding to longs and covering shorts, except for leverage funds and other reportables, right? Naturally go against the trend and lose all their money pretty consistently. And you can see leverage money is really short, whereas asset managers and dealers are pretty much break even. There goes the high for the market. But that's just something that I'm looking at to see, like, oh, okay, like, you know, maybe this upside was caused by a lot of short covering rather than extreme buying. And that's what makes me a little bit more cautious about this long side going into today. I know I was pretty bullish going into Thursday and Friday last week, but this week, you know, I'm a bit more cautious. But if we don't see
So
any
when
supply,
things-
what's that?
When things don't go their way, is that called filling their shorts?
Right, they would cover, yeah, they would cover those
No,
shorts.
no, that was a joke, dude.
Oh.
Filling their shorts.
Oh,
As
okay.
You're funny, Stace.
That was a good one. Got me. So a pop up above right there and then just right back down to the open. So just huge indecision today. We're not able to close the gap below and still haven't broken that Globex high. See Apple starting to catch a bid here. Not able to break its Globex high either though, but it is above its open. See AMD is just on the move today. AMD is about to get up to a gamma level up at 85. Above that, you're going to start seeing AMD start to rip, and it's probably going to head back up to 87.13 or maybe even that 90 level.
And then Netflix, they announced their earnings tomorrow, right?
Netflix has earnings on yeah, tomorrow after the close.
Hmm.
And I have Netflix calls. But I have Apple puts too, so they're kind of balancing each other out.
You're gonna hate your uncle, Brad. I feel like he got through to me more than you did the the other day.
Oh, wow.
I don't care. I mean, that's the thing is like I don't have any issue with that. Some people can learn from other people, you know. I just want everyone to be able to learn, and that's why I try to articulate so many things in different ways, because some people are going to remember it this way because of, you know, previous experiences. You know, it might be different because you and I are the same age. My uncle's a little bit older, right? Obviously both of us are a lot smarter than you are, but because he's older, you know, you might take heed of what he says a little bit more. So
Listen, I can get this use at home. I don't need this shit on here. This is my outlet. All right.
Dude. Fucking man. That was a good one,
Damn,
Brad.
gotta call an ambulance for that fucking burn.
No, today, Brad, though, like, you know how it is up here where I'm trading at right now. So
Yeah.
I'm just like,
bad
I'm not-
internet.
I was
Yeah.
pretty impressed that you got into a long. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, I rarely do, but so far I'm doing good, and I haven't taken any heat. Like, I think I was down $25 was the most I was down today. And I was like, all right, I can deal with this. That's amazing for me.
So as we're coming back up to this 4-quarter, right? That's where that offer was at. You can still see them kind of moving up a little bit from that. They're up at that 475 level. Above that is probably going to be looking to test that VPOC and that overnight point of control. And we said about 39.08 to about 39.12, or what is this? Yeah, 39.12. And that's kind of my target on this first trade here. So that's where I'm going to be looking to cover. If we don't break up above this 5, I'm going to start covering most of the position again here. you know, no reason to start to get greedy, especially with so much indecision back and forth over the market. We're not really seeing a ton of volume climb up yet either.
Can
They're
give everybody
still
the
trying to
big
hold.
out.
The bids are below are still in play. Yeah, definitely. That's true. Dr. Pa Puffnick. Offer moves down on this 01 and then runs away after they cover. What's going on here?
What did you get in at, Jared?
I've taken 3 watts total so far. My first one I got in at right at the open at 95, got out like 01, and then I got in again at what was that, like 97, 98, and then I took it for another 2-3 points, and then I got out. I'm not even in right now. I kind of want to wait and see what it does, see if it can break this 05, or if you know, it comes back down to around the 90. Either one I'll probably buy.
Yeah, with how mixed today is, I don't know if the breakout trades are going to be the way to go. So even if you do miss this push up to the high, look for that retest, look for some volume to come in before you get long to look to go up to test this poor high up here from a previous balance area up here.
Whoa, bro, what are you doing?
Offer still sitting up there on the 10. You can see Apple just, you know, struggling here to keep catching a bid. AMD's coming back down a little bit, back down into its pre-market range. Amazon still up above Friday's range, but starting to come back down. Meta still up on the highs. Microsoft up on the highs as well, but struggling to stay or get above that Globex high. Netflix still looking decent. All right, and a lot of times before earnings too, they'll just run Netflix up and then just give it the smackarooski. If we look at here, let's just go to charts here. And if you look at every earnings, so here's an earnings gap down, other earnings gap down. So the last 2 earnings for Netflix have not been the greatest, the greatest for earnings. So we do have to temper our expectations a little bit with Netflix. Let's see if that offer pops down to the 3 again here once they get a little bit farther away. Looks like some trap sellers at the 99.50. So if they don't get back down but the 99.50 and then we pop the 3, that's what will probably give us the gas to run some of these stops. And we still have about 5 minutes left till the next session opens up.
Yeah, this is quite a tight range.
Yeah. Just indecision, and there's no real economic news coming out today either. So besides, and no really big earnings either. So really the market just doesn't have any information. And when the market doesn't have any information, and remember it is summertime, we get a lot of these tight ranges, a lot less volatility, and the market tends to just balance or do a little bit of balancing until it receives more information. Peter, thank you for the like on Facebook. And if you are joining us for the first time on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch, and you are looking to get into a Discord of community, or a Discord community of people that are all amazing, just comment below the video or comment in the chat, and I will post the link for you, and we can get you set up. Only thing I ask is that you be positive and respectful. And then remember to like the video and subscribe, turn the notification bell on, all of those things that you hear in all the other videos, you know, just so you get the notification in case I forget to post it in the Discord, which happens. So back down to that 3,900. At 950, there's still some sellers trapped there. 99.50, I mean, excuse me. Still buyers sitting mechanically on this 00 here.
Yeah, because of our talk the other day, Stacy, I told myself, I was like, I'm not gonna take 5K of heat today. I was like, I am not.
I'm impressed. That's really good, Jared.
The
No,
most lots I've
Hold,
done
hold
today
on,
so far is one.
he said it. Let's.
Well, I'm just saying, but here's the thing. Just like they say, the first step
is to say it.
the first step in knowing that you have a problem is admitting you have a problem, and that's
Right.
that's what I'm saying. He said it. Whether or not it actually happens is somewhat irrelevant at this point. That's a good
No,
first step.
I made a promise. I'm trading up in Wyoming, and like the internet up here is not that good. So I just made a promise that I'm not gonna put on more than 1 lot.
Good
Oh,
for you.
wow.
Good for
You
you.
only
That's
put
a
on
really
3
good thing
lots
to.
today.
yeah,
that's a-
Jared's made tons of promises to himself before, so we'll see.
Did you already put on 3 lots already?
I mean, I hope
That-
that you follow through with it. I really do, and I'm glad that my uncle was able to get through to you. JB said, "Hey Brad, I may have missed it, but did you say you are currently in a long trade? If so, what made you enter that trade?" So my bias really this morning going into it is long, right? We did open up on a gap, and we didn't really get a fill from it this morning. I've filled lots on the 98.50, the 96 quarter, and the 96.75. Taken some off and then kind of put them back on as the market's been going. And the reason was really just because there was no real follow through to get that gap closed, right? And market profile rules tell us go with any gap that doesn't fill, and we have this huge gap down below until this is Friday's low, right? Globex doesn't really count for me. So, and we really couldn't even make it back down to the Globex point of control, right? The TPOC at least, because VPOC is about up here, but you know, we spent a lot of time right here before breaking out, and this is where a lot of sellers probably got short. Then again, up here around this 80 level, they were shorting these previous highs, and you can kind of see like they shorted the previous high, market hung out, they broke it, shorted the next previous high, couldn't hold, market broke up, traded right up to volume point of control, and then or TPOC, BPOC, and then they sold that thing off. It was really just, you know, just being patient, waiting for those pops to come because we couldn't get any extra volume to the downside. Not saying that you should just get long right now or get long because I'm long. It's just, you know, those are the kind of things that I factor in as we're getting through the trade. Back to the open here. Could you right click on the right axis? Would like to see your parameters. My CR looks way different than your template. Let me know when you're good, Thomas. B period's opening up. Opens up right in the middle of A period, so this is kind of indicative of balance. No problem, JB. And let me know if you know if that doesn't help or or if you have any other questions, for sure. Housing market data comes in, it misses by about 10 points. Rue, I use the CVD on crypto. So like if I pull up my crypto chart, I do have the cumulative volume delta down here, but I don't use it on futures. It's not very useful on futures, in my opinion, right? Maybe for other people it could be, but for me it's not. And I think it's more of a distraction than anything. Honestly, delta itself is a distraction for most. I did get some questions on why I don't use delta, basically, or bid at ask versus price, and the reason being is because if you can't understand it in total volume terms, right, because we're looking at a two-way auction, then you're gonna have trouble, because delta can be very misleading. Doesn't really matter if a trade trades on the bid or the ask. What matters is the reaction of how it trades off that bid or the ask, right? Yeah, sometimes you can, see, okay, everyone's lifting the offer, the delta's going up, blah 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 blah. To me, if you don't understand the whole picture, and what we're trying to do with the profiles, understand who's in charge of the day, right? And we know that right now, the information that we have, the market is balancing, going back and forth across the open, not really making any decisive moves, and that's an indication that shorter term time frame traders are in charge until we get a break of this A period. We're really not going to have much more information. So with that information, we know that there's going to be a lot of mechanical trading, and we can look to either trade with some of these mechanical trades, or, as Jim Dalton calls them, anchor trades, or trade against them, and trade with our market profile rules. So, it's really just up to you how you want to trade. When I'm looking at this, when I'm looking at this profile here, and we're getting inside this upper days range, and this is a previous 2-day balance up here, to me, what it looks like is we're getting acceptance, right? We do have weak structure. This is going to be weak structure because there is a gap, another gap. But as we're getting acceptance inside value of this balance area, and we could even, combine these profiles if we wanted to show one big balance area, there's better odds that we test the high of this balance area, which is going to be up here at this, 23 or 22, whatever this poor high is at. I'm not really a huge fan of worrying about exactness, because I think that's what gets a lot of traders in trouble. They start to worry about exactness, like, oh, it must go down to this level and blah, blah, blah. If you believe in efficient market theory, you're just fooling yourself. I don't think that markets are very efficient. I think they're imperfect. I think if they were efficient, then you wouldn't have any opportunity to trade. So as we look for acceptance inside this upper balance area, the more time that we spend in here, the better the odds become that we test the high of that balance. Ray said, "Good morning, Brad. I was wondering, are those two volume profiles from the TPO different time frames or the same? One is smaller than the other." Oh yeah, so this volume profile right here on the right is total volume for the TPO. And then the farthest one on the right is for the last 30 minutes. So it's not for the current session, it's actually for the last 30 minutes. And I like it like that because it gives me a little bit more opportunity instead of just cutting off at the B low and I'm not really able to see what's right here. Just have to just look right here. I just like to have that in there so we can kind of see everything for the last 30 minutes that's been traded right here all the way on the right side. Put call 174 to 6, right? A lot more calls coming through here. Right, and we had that housing data that came through that missed by about 10. Not that the numbers are really that important. So right back down here to the VWAP sitting around 95. There is a bid starting to form down here on the 91. 260 lots, and then on the 90 there's a 370 lot order as well. Thanks for listening. Can you talk more about day trading ETH or BTC compared to the ES? What's your experience, and what about commissions and fees compared, and what about correlation? So the difference really is depending upon where you're at. Take a look at this, guys. The weighted sectors and everything have kind of flipped under to the downside here. So you might be looking for a possible gap fill here to the downside, or maybe just some selling pressure. So just be careful. The correlation really is just dependent, right? We've seen Bitcoin be very correlated to the market. We've seen it become uncorrelated to the market. So, you know, I haven't really been paying attention to any correlation to it. The big thing about Bitcoin and about Ethereum is it is very, especially lately, very news driven, and it trades fairly good structure. The difference with Bitcoin and the ES futures is a lot of these ES futures trades, or any CME or CBOT futures trades, typically are going to last, for me, you know, minutes to hours, whereas sometimes these crypto trades, you're going to want to sit in them for days because of how much it rotates. The fees are going to be a lot higher on crypto depending upon which exchange you're trading in, if you're trading spot, if you're trading on leverage, whereas the fees are set and you'll know exactly what the fees are when you're trading futures from your broker before you even place your first trade. And then, yeah, my experience is just the volatility is just a bit different when it comes to crypto. A lot more opportunity, but also trading crypto comes with a lot more risk. Or low put in here, 21 contracts traded on the low. Right back up to this weekly VWAP at the 98.90 or 38.96, excuse me. Starting to see some offers come down here around this 96 area, 96, 95 area.
Brad, this is the best I've ever traded without taking any heat.
Imagine, imagine,
I know.
imagine, you know, I've only been saying it to you
Shocked.
for like fucking 6 months, but whatever.
I know I'm already fulfilled. Got
Like,
my a little over 300 running on the micros.
damn, nice. I'm up 850 right now on the ES.
That's nice. I don't know. I do pretty damn well at the micros. I can't complain.
Yeah, that's what Brad was telling me. He said you're killing it on the micros.
I'm up 65 points right now.
It's nice.
The tools with crypto are also much less advanced. It's very easy to make trades with futures. Yes, that's definitely true.
Hey, Pop.
Yeah, you get a lot less slippage, a lot more, a lot more fills, a lot less BS on the like the CME and the CBOT futures compared to crypto exchanges. Very, very seldom does the price come to your bid or to your offer and not fill compared to how often it does happen on a lot of crypto exchanges. That was mechanical selling off of that 24-hour VWAP, the weekly VWAP right there, 94 or 95 half, excuse me. Breaking down, so this is what I was talking about. We're looking, market possibly looking for that gap fill here now. Speaking of crypto, do you have any thoughts on the current status of ETH, which has been skyrocketing lately? Of course, while I was still in some shorts. Oof, sorry to hear that. I mean, I'm not sure what caused that pop. I know that a lot of, traders are selling, selling some puts on the ETH futures. So they're kind of expecting it still to go up. At least that's my interpretation of what they're expecting. Not sure really though, you know, people maybe just piling back in or maybe just a little bit of, you know, a little bit of hopes and prayers really. I don't know. The crypto market to me right now is just insane. There's not really any rhyme or reason to it. I'm not sure what the ETH news was. So it looks like some massive liquidations might have caused that pop. Some DeFi stuff. I mean, what I assume is what's happening is a lot of the other cryptos are just getting smashed. A lot of the smaller names got smashed, and then a lot of the money could come up into the or just, you know, pouring into the safer coins right now, ETH or Bitcoin. Bitcoin coming down to that VWAP as well here. The ETH merge, I did see something about that, but I wasn't really sure about, you know, if that was going to do anything, you know. I'd seen I've seen some crap about it, so I wasn't really sure. 2 weak spots on the profile here, 89.75 and then 92 here. So above 92, you'll probably get a rotation back up to that 95 where the offer was sitting at. But if they're not able to break the 92, they're still going to be looking to break this or to fill this gap. Big volume profile on TPO is on the left. Is the same one in the middle. But the big volume profile and TPO on the left is the same as the one in the middle. The one on the left is longer. The one in the middle, sorry for continuation. So this is just this TPO over here is from the Globex session or the overnight session. So if you're in the trade view and you see OVN, that's for the overnight session. So the overnight trading, this is a 24-hour trade, and then this profile here is all cash session. So it opens up 9:30 Eastern time, and this is just our cash session. So watch this 92 here. Look to see if they can pop above it. Pop above it, probably bring you back up to that offer at 95. The dollar's coming down right now. Yeah, but so this is for the overnight session. So it's less volume, but a longer session, which is why it looks like a lot bigger profile. And then this is the volume for the current cash session, and then this is the volume here for the last 30 minutes of time. There are no sellers in crypto lately. Even at pullbacks, there's very weak selling. Every pullback has been catching a bid from previous. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think a lot of even the downside had been from mostly just liquidation, right? People had just taking profit over and over and causing, you know, a little bit of panic. Okay. Bye. Have fun. Love you too. What's my opinion on combines like Top Step? Yeah, of course there is. You mean like a funded trader program, or those? I think that they can be useful if you have low capital. I like the Apex Trader one, right? That's where I had I had started an Apex account, but I don't recommend staying there. One, you're going to be giving up 10% of your profits after you make 10 grand, so at 10% you might want, because that's gonna take away from your profits, obviously, and depending upon how much profits you make, that 10% can really start to add up. Remember, you are gonna have to pay taxes on it. Taxes on futures is a 40/60, not a 55 or whatever like it is on stocks or equities. But I'd rather keep my 10% than let somebody else have it. But if you don't have a lot of capital, it is a good way to get started, to build up a nice bankroll, and then switch to your own account. I don't really like Top Step because they have too many rules. I think that you can't trade during I mean, there's just so many times where you can't trade. So unless you have those rules like pinned to your forehead and you're looking in a mirror while you're trading, it's going to be tough to follow all these rules, and then you just break one little tiny rule, and then your account gets blown, and then you just wasted all your time. The money, like I said, is not really, to me, very important. I'm all about time here, and that's the thing, is if you're over here resetting the account over and over and over because of these rules, you're going to be wasting tons of time, and that's going to be frustrating. 40/60. So here, I'll pull it up for you. So the capital gains tax, right, from stocks and ETFs is the 60/40 rule, 60% tax long-term capital gains, whereas in futures, it's only the futures is only 60/40, right? So you only get it's just less taxes that you have to pay on futures trading than you would on stocks or equities. There's a good article on it on Investopedia. Here it is. I'll post it.
Yeah, the 60/40 rule. Yeah, like 60% of your income is taxed at the capital gains, and then the other 40 is taxed at whatever your income rate would be. So it's like if you made 100 grand or whatever, you'd probably be at like 23%, 24% interest or whatever it is.
Yeah, you just want to make sure. I mean, and that's the thing. So if you're paying 10% of your profits to somebody else, you're kind of doing yourself a little bit of a disservice by paying extra money you don't really have to. But I do think it is a good opportunity if you don't have a bankroll, or don't really want to take the risk, or kind of a way to ease into it, to get in. It means only 40% of your profits get taxed, right? Instead of 50, which is capital gains on like stocks and equities and options, is 50. So that 10%, right? You're just giving up if you're long term, right? There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying long term. So the market broke that 92, popped up to the 95, found an offer again. So as we're getting close to this 95 again, look for the offer to step back in. There's a failure to close that gap. Oh, excuse me. That short covering came in. Yeah, depending upon your country, yeah, there's no taxes. But I paid taxes on crypto last year, and it was shit. It was not fun. I did not enjoy that bill. But I was prepared for it in savings, so it's not too bad. You said you were in several short crypto trades, all of which flipped and ran, at least somewhat, along with ETH. Yeah. And that's the thing, especially over the weekend, you never know. Crypto could just come out and just, rally. And with the volatility in crypto, especially right now because of the low liquidity, it could really run in either direction. I'm not saying it's just going to keep going up or keep going down, but there's no real real big move. In crypto, I got taxed 50%. They taxed it just like a regular capital gains tax.
Did they provide Vaseline or no?
I had to go to Costco because the one that they provided just wasn't enough.
Ooh, that still hurts.
But I was in the army for a while, so I'm pretty used to it. But I mean, I guess you could have worse problems. When I look at it, I just think, the more taxes I pay, the better I'm doing. At least I just wish my tax dollars were going to something better. But I'm not the president yet, so.
I'm actually not gonna trade my any more bread. I'm done for the day.
Good.
Didn't hit my usual goal, but I have a different goal up here. Extenuating circumstances.
What's your 5-year plan? Don't die? So pop back up to that 95 and the offer is still sitting there. And, that 95 is becoming pretty mechanical with that halfback. Yeah, rules. It was ridiculous. The VA inspector comes to the house today. So hopefully everything goes well. That would put me moving into my new house closing on August 12th. Which is exciting. Then bear season opens up in September. I've been wanting to get a bear rug forever, so I'm going to go bow hunting for a bear. Get a bear rug. I did see this TikTok this weekend, and I know this is kind of off topic, but if you have Nikes, Nike has a return policy stating that if it's not 2 years past the manufacture date of your shoes and they start to break down, that they'll send you a new pair for free. So I'm gonna test that out today when I go to the mall, and I'll let you guys know if it's a real deal.
Oh yeah, definitely let me know. That's all I wear is Nike.
Yeah, because one of the checks on my 270s started coming off, so if it's on TikTok, it must be true.
Have you ever tried that brand Hoka?
Margaret's gonna buy some Hokas. You were telling me about them. I told her that she should get them for work.
Dude, most comfortable shoe I've ever worn. I used to always wear Nikes, and I just made the switch. I don't know if I'll ever go back.
Those are what my friends who are nurses wear those. Focus.
Oh, they're comfortable, real comfortable. And I would say they probably weigh like I don't know, 6 ounces probably.
TikTok is a new Google. Yeah, TikTok is actually, and it's actually useful. Like I never downloaded TikTok because everything Jared would send me on TikTok was just stupid, and so I was like, it's just like Instagram Reels, like it's just a bunch of dumbass shit. But then Margaret was like, no, it's like YouTube, and it's like a how-to YouTube. So then I downloaded it, and it's actually pretty cool. Find a lot of cool stuff on there, a lot of secret websites. I mean, everyone kind of advertises the same thing. So if you start to follow one thing, you're just going to see the same shit over and over and over. But, if you just use the search bar instead of just watching the reels, you can actually find a lot of cool stuff on there. You'll never wear another Nike product again. Bow hunting for a bear sounds like using a BB gun to hunt a lion. I mean, I'll let you know, right? You hate their political views. Yeah, and that's a thing with, I mean, if you think about a lot of companies, you'd have to, if you really dig down into them, like think about who goes and gets, I mean, if you want to, I mean, a lot of people are 50-50 on Tesla, right? Some people love Tesla, some people hate Tesla, but think about Nestle, right? Everybody loves chocolate, right? Who do you think gets all those cocoa beans for them? Slaves. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm surprised as a military guy, when they supported kneeling. So here's the thing, and this is a big controversial thing about the kneeling and all that. So me personally, I don't agree with it, but I do agree with, as an American, you have the right to do whatever that you want to do, right? And so yeah, I would never do it, but if people want to do it, good for them. You know what I mean? I don't have any, I don't really care. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, you shouldn't fucking kneel against the flag, blah, 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 blah. Well, the whole point of America is the diversity, right? And if everyone just forms into the same spectrum, which is, kind of what I hate to say it, which is what's kind of happening. Everyone's either right or left. There's no like, happy medium anymore. It's like you either fucking love abortion or hate abortion, right? That's kind of how they're pushing everything online. But as a U.S. Army soldier, when we sign up and serve the country, we decide to serve the people, right? And so for me, the way that I take it is I want to protect the rights of all people, and if people's rights, or people are feeling that their rights are being infringed upon, then they should have the right to peacefully protest. And taking a knee is about the most peaceful protest that I've ever seen, right? They're not in the streets breaking a bunch of shit and doing all this craziness. They're just peacefully protesting. And like I said, would I do it? Never. I would never do it. It's just not in me. But that's the thing about America, is that you can kneel, right? Imagine if you were in Russia and tried to kneel. You'd be fucking, disappeared. Get that Jeffrey Epstein treatment. Like, oh, why is that red light not blinking on my security camera in my cell anymore? Oh,
You would just call me a conspiracy theorist, Brad, but at the same time, I just feel like the government and media just want us fighting each other, so we're not fighting them.
Exactly. It's a distraction. I think, yeah, I agree. There's a lot of distraction going on, which is why, one of the first things that I would put into law as the president, here comes C period opening up, is I would make it illegal to report news that you do not know to be factual. So unless you can actually back it up with substantial evidence and not anecdotal evidence, then and you post it on your channel, boom, jail. Like Venezuela, bro. Late to a dentist appointment, jail. That's from Parks and Rec. If anyone's never seen that. Overcooked chicken, jail. Undercooked fish, jail. Undercooked, overcooked. And if you guys haven't seen that, you guys want to watch it, it's pretty funny. Let me find it on YouTube. That could be used as a tool to suppress media. Yeah, and it's not that I want to suppress media. It's just that if you flip through channels, you can get the same story the same context of a story in a million different ways. And so it's impossible as your average American to know the truth. And then what happens is people tend to, especially simple people, tend to just assume or absorb the information from the people around them. So if everybody around you is typically saying, oh, this, then you're going to be like, oh, this, right? I don't really get very political. To be honest, I've never even voted. I just don't, it doesn't, not for the president at least. I have voted like for senators and Congress and things like that. Those are the important votes that nobody talks about. But the vote for the president, really, I just don't think it's that important. But if you want to do me a favor, right, go vote for your local Congress or your local office, and look into the laws of your local community, because that's how you start change. You have to start small with everything that you do, and when you try to start big, that's why these things get burnt out, and then nothing changes, and then a big distraction comes on, and then that's what happens. Yeah, the truth varies so much, which is insane, right? The truth. We better chill. We're gonna get fucking banned on YouTube again. So C period coming down here. We see B period put in some good excess. A period put in some good excess to the upside. The market is still just kind of hanging out, but we are starting to hang out below the open. They looked for that gap fill. No real support down there. You saw a bunch of short covering come in on that 88 quarter. We popped up back. That offer is still sitting on the 95 area. What are your session settings that you have on your Sierra chart? My session settings are this. So 9:30 to 1600. I have my evening sessions on, and that's at 1601 to 929.59. Taking a peek around the block real quick. Apple's up 0.5%. AMD's up 2.4. Amazon up 1.75. Meta up 1.5. Microsoft up 0.8. Netflix up 4.2. The triple Q is up 1%. Tesla is up 3.46%. The VIX is actually up almost 2%. And we can see a mix of indices. We do have a high breadth, 7-to-1 on the NYSE, 4-to-1 on the NASDAQ, right? Kind of telling us, being on the short side is the more dangerous side today. We see the tick coming back up. We start to see our weighted sectors, but they're still below zero here. I changed this so it looks like blocks. I'm not sure if anyone likes it. I'm not even sure if I like how it looks, to be honest. I was just trying to figure out a way that that you guys might, like it a little bit better. We could try this one. All right, maybe that one looks a little bit cleaner. You guys let me know. And I'm really not a huge fan of this cumulative tick at all yet so far, so. Go back up to the VWAP right here. The VWAP is about 96. Mechanical selling off of that B open and V open for the day. It only shows full. So you're only showing a full TPO? Thomas? Seller's still trying to offer this 95-ish area. A pop-up of the open should bring off all this mechanical selling that we've seen. Saw a bunch of mechanical selling off the 3900. We're seeing more mechanical selling here off of the open, a little bit of front running off of the open. So a break of that should take us up and maybe get a cessation of one time framing. That B high up here at 3902. That could lead us up if we do get some initiated buying above the open to get up here above that Globex high, and then the target will end up being the 12, right? The 9 or 8 to 12. Market's able to sustain above here. We start to see these sellers from the Globex session start to flip. Be looking to trade up to that poor high at 39.22-ish. Remember, we still have a pretty significant gap below as well. So in order to get this pop above, we do need to see some initiated buyers get up there, right? They're not just going to get up there on short covering. Let me check the volume today. So far, we are sitting at about 6% more in that A period initially, but that B period died down, sitting about 2% less than Friday's session. And that's in the NYSE, not in the futures market. Apple still hasn't closed that gap from the previous day. The AMD is just way up above its gap. Amazon didn't open on the gap, so it closed. Put call ratio is now 104 to 2. Think you fixed it? Good stuff. Meta still holding its gap to the upside. Microsoft is on the low again. Netflix starting to look like a P shape here, after putting in good excess on the upside. We can see the triple Q sitting right here at one of our put or our call levels at that 295. And Tesla still holding its gap. Barely though. It looks like mechanical buying from Tesla on that previous day's high. Late buyers. Apple starting to come down here a bit. Watch that 88.50 if this thing auctions down there. That's where a lot of shorts looked like they covered last time. There is a bid sitting there, 222 lots. The fuck's it? Yeah. Oh, here, let me pull that video up. It's funny. Market's just kind of chilling here anyways. Here we go. It's pretty funny.
Coffee. This is outrageous. Where are the armed men who come in to take the protesters away? Where are they? This kind of behavior is never tolerated in Boracua. You shout like that, they put you in jail right away. No trial, no nothing. Journalists, we have a special jail for journalists. You're stealing, right to jail. You're playing music too loud, right to jail, right away. You're driving too fast, jail. Slow, jail. You're charging too high prices for sweaters, glasses. You right to jail. You undercook fish, believe it or not, jail. You overcook chicken, also jail. Undercook, overcook. You make an appointment with the dentist and you don't show up, believe it or not, jail, right away. We have the best patients in the world because of jail.
Oh, dude, it's just like, it's so funny. I love that.
That's pretty good.
And that's from the
Believe it or
show
not,
Parks and Rec.
also-
If you guys haven't seen it, it's really funny.
You get into a trade too early, jail. You get out of a trade too early, jail.
I love how mad he is.
Yeah, he's
You
pissed.
add to
Yeah.
a losing trade, jail.
Where are the people that take these protesters away? Yeah. We have the best patients in the world because of jail. That's kind of how it is in the army. Like in the army, if you make an appointment and you don't go, they just send a message to like everybody in your chain of command, so everybody knows that you didn't go to your appointment, and then boom, you get a counseling. It's just, I mean, it's chaos.
You make a dentist appointment, don't go, also jail.
Undercooked, overcooked. If you are selling, if your prices are too high for sweaters, yeah. That whole episode is just hilarious too. I mean, the whole show is hilarious. The outtakes are even better. One of the outtakes, they're like trying to figure out this scene, and here, let me just try to find. I don't want to butcher it.
Order submitted.
Oh, somebody smashed the button there, Jared.
Order filled.
Jared's getting
All
long.
right, Jared, what'd you do? What'd you do, Jared?
Hey, shut up. I already know you guys are gonna fight me.
I was like, oh shit, Jared's going long.
So here's another funny one.
It's a good comeback story, right? Seabiscuit, the Mighty Ducks,
Robert Downey Jr. Who else?
Rocky. Yes.
Kim Kardashian.
Kim. Well,
Well, in the video, she gets cum on her back, I think.
Oh, that show is just full of just funny ass one-liners. It's comparable to The Office. If you like The Office, the show is really similar and it's hilarious. If you don't like The Office, fuck you. Morning, Peter. How's it going? Let me see. Yeah, it is kind of like that. I mean, just depends on what unit you're in, I guess, but yeah, sometimes it can be like that. I've seen, people out there like sweeping in the rain and stuff. So, does a P profile usually indicate short covering, short sellers taking profit at the lows? Can it sometimes mean long imbalance at the lows, big buyers stepping in at structured lows? Yeah, it definitely could be. And also a P profile could be indicative of a longer term time frame trader building a position as well, right? And that was kind of my thought process behind Friday. If we look at the profile from Friday, let me double it here. We can see, definitely a very, P-ish shape. And, I think maybe some responsive longs got in here. A responsive short probably was piling in here, which is why we're putting all these mechanical levels. It got cleaned up. We kind of had a little spike at the end of the day. And, possibly that seller decided that they were incorrect, and we shifted, up through the overnight session, and that's kind of what happened. That doesn't necessarily mean that this sell area down here is trapped. We didn't really have any single prints, so no real capitulation and real short covering rally through the Globex. It was mostly caused by low volume. Globex was, and so it is hard to decipher. I think the reason the book decides that the P profile is short covering is because that's what people are searching for, right? They're searching for these concrete definitions. There's really no way to know for sure if it was caused by, short covering, or, I think, there might have been a buyer here kind of front running this previous level, and a longer term buyer stepped up and then just, gathered the inventory that they wanted. You figure in this range here, let me just erase this. So you figure they gathered the inventory that they wanted here and then distributed it up here, right? So that could mean that, it's just not really a seller, just mechanical selling and, profit taking up here from this level. We're trying to, the goal here is to try to track where the inventory is at, and we can see where the inventory is at here. So if someone accumulated a bunch of inventory, they're up here, they're selling it up here in Globex, they're selling it again in the cash session below the open, but no real supply or no real seller has come in. If we had heavy selling or an actual amount of supply, this gap here would be getting closed. It does look like that's where they're trying to go, right? Naturally, hopefully, when everyone heard Jared click that long button, they clicked the opposite. That's what Jared gets for breaking his rules. He said he was done trading. He's fucking not. So
First off, I'm on my eval account. Okay. Secondly, all right. How do you know I didn't enter a short?
because I know you, bro. I just know you.
Yeah, I'm in a long.
Yeah.
It.
Okay, you got it. I'll be honest.
Yeah, you're right.
The pink box, Thomas.
Double R's.
The pink box is the VPOC. So that's the highest volume. And then red is second most volume, white is third most volume, and then blue is the least amount of volume. Yeah, no problem, Double R. Yeah, so I mean, really, you're just trying to track that inventory, and that's the thing is like, if you get dead set on these concrete explanations of a P profile is short covering, that's what can lead you into those tunnels, and then you start to not see the big picture. So, and if we look at our big picture here, let's look at the ES. Whoa, what was that? So we have our daily time frame here. Has to include all this bullshit. Our daily time frame did have a cessation of one time framing, and we are on the gap up, but we really haven't got above where the market would need to get above to not stay in a bracket, right? And so we consider our daily balance areas like this, right? But we're, in a larger bracket, if you look like, right? Here's the highs, here's the highs, here's the lows, here's the lows, here's the lows, right? So you figure the market is bracketing right now. And if we even look over to the weekly chart, we can see, the balance that's going on right here. We still haven't broken up above the balance. We do have a cessation of one time framing on the weekly, which is letting us know that there is a possible longer term frame trader down here at these lows. But is that trader willing, right, at these lows here, is that trader willing to move up and start buying these higher levels in order to get into this gap, which is where we know our longer term time frame short is sitting at? And we haven't really seen that yet, and haven't really seen anything concrete. And then if we look on the monthly is telling us, we're one time framing to the downside here, and just no real decision or anything like that. Oh, that's the best one. Double R said nothing definite in trading apart from Jared longing the top.
Yeah, am I just like a
sick burn?
If I'm a punching bag, just let me know. I'll take it.
Yeah, well, I didn't make you that big for no reason, Sharon.
Yeah, yes, that's true.
So the letters as well, basically each pink box is a 30-minute VPOC for that time frame. No, so this pink box around the letters is the half back. So it's halfway from the high of C, halfway from the low of C. That's a halfway back point. And it's a mechanical reference that we use to see shorter term time frame traders sell off of. So if C period comes up, we get a bunch of selling right off of this level and it comes down. Typically that's indicating that those are weaker hands traders. And then same thing with this open, the yellow letter is the open. And so with this C high at this B open is telling us, and especially because it's at the open of the day, that most likely these are weaker hands traders. And it's not saying that it's not going to hold, but what it's saying is if price gets closer to it, the odds become greater that we're going to break above that level. But just because we have a mechanical high shouldn't mean that, oh, we're just going to get long right here expecting it to go up, right? We have to wait for our setups. And right now we don't really have much information except for if this C low corrects this B or this weak low or poor low, right? Whatever you want to call it, that is an indication that we're one time framing down, right? And we don't really necessarily want to be fighting a one time framing down market. And you know, contradictorily, if this is the if this is applying all of the market profile rules, we don't want to be longing one time framing market down, but we also don't want to be shorting on a gap that's failed to close to the upside. What should we do? Step aside, right? So there's nothing wrong with stepping aside until the market receives the information that you're looking for it to receive. But when we look at the tick here, right, the tick has not really been able to substantiate any real selling below that zero level yet. Do most people in here trade using the TPO? Yes. I mean, I think so. It's not only the TPO, it's just the TPO is the main tool. I pretty much trade only using the TPO though. And I place my orders through the DOM. But morning, Patrick.
Everyone in the trade room, Brad, should just trade with me.
Well, for some reason I can't type in the chat, so I just want to say good morning to everybody.
Morning, Kevin.
I'll just leave my sound on, Brad.
Did anybody hear me say that?
We'll know what I entered.
Yeah, Kevin, we can hear you.
Can anybody hear me? Testing, testing.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Hey Jared, what did you go long at?
He went long at 95. I wrote it down.
Yeah, like 94.50.
Super delay.
I added a column in my Excel sheet that I keep my trades on. It's called my Jared column. Where did Jared get long at? Okay, let me see.
It's gonna come back my way. I ain't, it's all good.
Yeah, we're definitely not seeing any real substantial selling down here. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And as soon as they pop this 95, which is kind of where the offer's been really sitting, if they have the juice to get that 98, I do think that they'll probably look at least target this B high. But I mean, we're seeing, you know, just real balance and real shallow balance as you see tapering basically from both sides, and we're putting in, you know, 96 or 06 up here to about 86 here. So, you know, you're looking about a 20-point range, real small range, and the volume so far is nothing to write home about. There's a lot of open orders below. Yeah, there is. But that's the thing, is when we open up on a gap, you know, the market has to find buyers up higher too. Yeah, there is. We've got the VWAP, the cash VWAP's up at 96, the weekly VWAP's at 95, so they're pretty much overlapping
AMD is
now.
climbing. AMD is climbing.
AMD's hopping up.
Popping hard. Holy cow. I think it's either close to its high or...
So is there just
Got the
one
VWAPs.
clearinghouse? Or are they
The
finding
cash VWAP's
buyers
up at 96, the weekly VWAP's
for
at
multiple
95, so they're pretty
exchanges?
much overlapping now. Someone has an echo on. That was, I felt like I heard myself right there. So back up to that 95, that seller's just kind of still sitting here, right to these VWAPs, 96, 95. Top of that should take us to the open, and a break of that should bring us back up all this to the high, I think. More mechanical selling off of that 96. And so it's really just a battle of, you know, these shorter term time frame traders flipping here. We know we're having shorter term time frame traders sell this area here, right? They're selling half back, they're selling the open, and they're selling that 3900 psychological level. They've been doing it pretty much all morning. And so that's really, this is really the no-no box. You need to see the market get above and establish above that 3900. That should take us up to that Globex high here. And really the target's still, I'm still looking for that 12 here today. Apple's catching a bid here as well. Amazon still kind of struggling. Meta slowly dropping back down. Microsoft just looks like shit. Netflix still just kind of drifting back down towards its open, but still holding up on a gap.
Those are always the worst, Brad, when you're in a trade and you're like just eating it, and all of a sudden it comes up, breaks you by like 2 ticks, and you're like, dang, I should have got out, and then it just goes down, you know?
No.
Oh, you don't know what that's like?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know the feeling for sure.
Yeah. Like right there, I was like, oh, I had a chance to get out. And then
I almost said something. I almost said, Jared, dude, hit it. Take your win and run.
Here comes D period. And so if you're able to articulate that, or just at least understand that, you give a insight into that the psychology of another retail trader. Hang on, gotta text my wife real quick. Into other retail traders, and you know, they're probably in a similar position as you. So what we can expect here is that some of this selling is probably off of people that got long and are getting back to break even because they've been negative back at the VWAP, and now they're covering their positions, which is in turn, when you're a buyer, you turn into a seller immediately. So if you think about that, when you are looking to get long in a market, as soon as you get into a market as a buy, you become a seller immediately, right? And so if you can understand that and understand the auction process, well, where are other sellers going to be active at? That's where we want to close out our positions, because that's going to be selling into strength. Like I said, I think the market is like almost 100% psychological, and when you start to understand the psychology of your competitors, it's really going to put you over that edge of most traders, because most traders, the one thing that they're not in tune with, right? They might have really good market analysis, but they have no control over their psychology, and it just gets them into a lot of traps. And then that happens to be when they're, if you've ever been in a trade where you were wrong but you were also right at the same time, you're definitely not alone. Kevin, so what I'm saying is, when you buy something, so let's say if I'm looking to get long here, right? I'm a mechanical seller looking to get long off of this C open. Immediately when I open up a buy position, right? What am I looking to do? I'm looking to sell it for a higher price, right? And it's vice versa. If you're looking to get short, you're going to sell something and you're looking to buy it back for lower, right? But regardless, now you're in the market as a buyer, right? Or vice versa, you're in the market as a seller. So that's how you think about the psychology. So if we're thinking about, okay, there's a ton of buyers here, ton of buyers. Well, when we get to a level where we expect to see sellers, right? What are these buyers that were in the market going to do? They're going to sell. So we might see people that aren't in the market sell towards the highs, and then we might see the people that were long before sell at the same spot. And that's why I'm not a huge fan of Delta, because it can be, extremely misleading for a lot of people. I was watching some of your bootcamp vids over the weekend. Even after doing a JD intensive, there's still loads of good info in there. Great job. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Are these bootcamp vids on YouTube? No, they're in the Discord. They're on Zoom. I could load them, I guess, onto YouTube. I'm working on another course. It's a 3-part course, and it's just, I'm doing it by myself too, so it's taking a little bit longer. And I did just move across the country. Hopefully, it should be out before the end of the year. Just depends on how much time I have. And it's summertime, and the kids don't go back to school till September, so it's tough. If I'm on the computer all morning, I can't really be on the computer all afternoon. My kids aren't just going to want to sit around, not do shit all day. They're they want to play. So, and no offense to anybody that's been waiting the course, but I pick my kids over all of you guys. So sorry if that hurts your feelings. But one thing you can expect here at the Trade Vets is the truth. So sometimes the truth hurts. Yeah, definitely check it out. So some buying, stepping up down here on these lows, along with a little bit of short covering. I'm not even sure if the YouTube is working still. Volume in that C period was about 1% less than Friday, so really no big change. Apple trying to climb out above the highs, still unable to get above that Globex high, but really holding the open. You can see some buying off of that open. The breadth is still up. Nasdaq is catching a bit of a bid here as well. Nasdaq's up about 1.1, leading the markets. Well, I guess the Russell is actually leading 1.5, but the Dow's kind of lagging behind. Oil's up about 4% at about 98. Nothing really too crazy. My thoughts on Google, Trin? Let's see. So Google's in a balance on a monthly level here. This lower balance, really kind of trying to decide what it's going to do. It's a bit smaller here. You know, you can still see as it's coming back to the top of this bracket, Google still looks powerful. I have like a sneaky suspicion that we're gonna get one more leg down. But Google's one of those, especially with Google coming down in price after doing that split, it gives the opportunity to get inside, you know, into Google a little bit. I think I would wait. You know, and I hate to be kind of I guess contrarian, as I know a lot of people are kind of thinking that the market's going to rally for earnings, but you know, I think I would wait around that $100 mark, or maybe even down this $90 mark. But that's, you know, that's just me. I think Google is just one of those companies that's never really going to go anywhere. And it does look strong. It is just in a balance though, and so the best thing before making a decision would just be kind of just to wait until it breaks out of this bracket. And you can see, you know, if you're a flag person, right, it's in kind of a bear flag here, but you know, this thing could keep going, right? Really, I just look at it like this. It's in this bracket, so if we break above and hold, I don't mind getting some there. Look, targeting that 131, breaks below and holds. I think that 85 to 88 level is going to be that target below. Let's look at the short-term series here. Not. I don't know why it's not showing us any information right here. That's kind of weird. Here we go. Oh yeah, so these are, oh, I don't want to see. Oh, here we go. So the most volume is sitting up here at around like 112 on Google for calls, and then the most volume for puts is sitting around the same area. So it really does look like, if we go back to the chart, the 112 is kind of where we're at right now, and it looks like someone's probably running a strangle, and a strangle is typically where you buy calls and buy puts, so you're just expecting the market not to keep balancing, and so they'll make money if it goes up and they'll make money if it goes down. They just have to pick a side and cover. That's what it kind of looks like is happening on Google there. No problem. Are dealers trying to establish a two-sided auction so they don't have to front as many orders when in imbalance? Yeah, I guess that's a way you could definitely look at it, right? They're trying to basically a dealer's job is to stay they call gamma neutral or neutral. Really, you don't even need to throw the gamma in there, but you really just, they're looking to just stay neutral. Their job is to facilitate the trade. You know, if they're able to make money while doing that, then that's great. But if they're not, you know, they definitely want to be minimizing the amount of exposure, amount of risk that they're putting themselves in as well. Apple coming back down into balance. So it's peaked above twice, not able to break the high 2 times now. There's a fairly big bid sitting down at the 80 here, 222 lots. Pretty far away from price though, so not really that important. Only 8 contracts trade on that D low there. The weather's kind of shitty here today. It's all overcast and rainy. For those who took the Dalton's intensive, do you think the course was worth the price? I do. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it depends on what kind of learner you are, right? If you need someone to teach you the structure and need it to be chronological and formatted, then yeah, 100% worth it. But if you are able to get on the internet and learn, the information is on the internet, right? Jim has, you know, hundreds of videos on YouTube. They're just all old, but the information is very similar. They're old intensive courses. You just have to remember, because the market is ever evolving, you know, things change. The real key is just identification of who's in charge of the day. And I think if you're able to identify that, or if you put all your efforts into identifying that, that's going to be a big step for you. And then also, you know, controlling your own psychology, which is something Jim definitely talks about a ton. To me, that's the most important thing. If you're not in touch with your emotions and you're not able to understand your own psychology, then, you know, I could tell you every trade that I take and it's going to be, you know, our accounts will be different at the end of the day, unless I tell you all of my exits as well. And that's just not something that I'm looking to do, right? If I wanted to start an alert service and, you know, make a bunch of money by people paying for alerts, I'm sure there's opportunity there, but it's just not, you know, it's not beneficial really. $34 over there? Dang. That's Celsius or Fahrenheit? Celsius. Oh, okay, so it's pretty warm for you guys. I was wondering how HFTs, algo trading fit into the whole market profile narrative. So you can definitely use algos. My uncle used an algo, right? Because that's what helped him understand his psychology. So, you know, it is possible. The thing is, when you buy an algo from somebody else, you're just kind of taking their word for it on what it does and what it identifies. Whereas my uncle built his own algo, so he knows exactly what it's doing because he wrote all the code for it. So it's, I don't know. I don't think buying an algo off somebody else is worth the money that they charge. I know. I don't know if people are selling strategies and systems and things like that. Most of the times they're just not working, or maybe they did work before, and like I said, the market is always changing, so you're gonna have to constantly be reevaluating every single day, honestly. And if there was this golden ticket or this, what's the cup that is in Indiana Jones, nobody would sell it.
The cup of Christ.
In the TPO, would those be considered weak buyers or sellers? I mean, it's just that, so like in a lot of the algos in the futures market are just based off of things that are going in other markets. So like, let's say if Apple breaks this 150 level and starts to come down, you might see algos start to sell the futures market in order to hedge against the calls that they have, right? So I wouldn't really consider that either mechanical or weak buyers or sellers. That's just a different thing. Mechanical or weak buyers or sellers typically buy off easy to see reference points like a half back or the open or the high or the low, or things like that. Not saying that bigger money can't buy those areas. It's just most of the time bigger money has no idea what the half back of the day is, because that's not what they're looking at. They are looking at they're looking more if, like, if I've got 150 lots to fill or 150,000 lots to fill, is this a good spot to fill them? Right? They're not going to say, oh, I'm going to fill them all on half back. That's just not something that they're going to do. Market really just not doing anything right now. And if you can use your imagination with me for a second, to me, what the market is kind of looking like is looking like a B shape, which means, possibly just liquidation of this overnight session. We do have the London session closing here in about 10 minutes as well. The Holy Grail. I think the Holy Grail is like the tablet. I don't know. Oh, it is called the Holy Grail. Yeah, the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail was believed to be the cup that Jesus Christ used during the Last Supper. It is also used to catch Christ's blood at his crucifixion after the spear of Longinus pierced his side. The cup was then entrusted to Joseph. D high is right at that point of control. So a lot of mechanical references forming above, but we also still have a gap below, a very significant gap too, right? We're talking 86 to 67, so 20-point gap. Or low at the bottom with this tapering coming on is typically, you know, a sign of possible shorts getting trapped down here as well. So if we don't get any continuation, there's probably going to be a rally leading into the end of the day or later in the session to blow off some of these trap shorts here. A thing that is being earnestly pursued or sought after. Apple's coming back down to its open. You can see oil still up about 4.5%, ES about 0.6, gold is up 0.3, Nasdaq's up 1%, the Russell's up 1.6, the Dow's up 0.4, bonds are down 0.4, Apple's up 0.5, AMD's up 3% now, Amazon 2.25, Google down about 0.4, Meta up 2.1, Microsoft 0.1, Netflix 4.5, and Tesla almost 4%, 3.96. The VIX is up, but just barely, still sitting at 2462 here. Curtis. Yeah. Are they on their way home? Okay, go get dressed. Brush your teeth. The long-term investors with large orders will most likely be getting in on points of controls in high volume areas. Yeah, I mean, that's where the biggest business is done, to be honest, because if you think about it, like, so, and this was kind of my you know, kind of theory that we had a larger term investor get in here, because if not, and this was shorter time frame traders and we're in a fair value area, we probably would have seen a little bit more balance. But what happened is all of the offers just kept getting scooped up, and then they distribute here, right? And so that's kind of why I'm thinking that there was a larger term frame trader or a bigger size trader there getting filled, regardless of if it was an actual new buyer or if it was old money covering their last bit of shorts, right? As we approached where original inventory was at, is, you know, really impossible to know for sure. But just kind of, you know, kind of what I was thinking, or my kind of theory, I guess. But yeah, they make the high volume areas when they distribute all of their inventory for sure. can see the weighted sectors and the unweighted sectors pretty much even here, still below the 0 level, but not on the tick. And I think this is probably just longer term money trying to cover before earnings come out this week and next week, putting themselves in the correct positions to not get punished. My opinion about Window Trader, I've never used it, so I'm not I don't really have like a huge opinion on it. I think it looks really cool. I know it has a lot of customization, but it does cost like 200 something a month, and I'm not even sure if that includes data. You know, I think Sierra Charts does everything that it needs to do when it comes to the TPO. It just doesn't have the best replay feature, Sierra Charts, so you know, it's kind of a little bit more difficult when it comes to stuff like that. But you know, I'm not going to be getting Window Trader if that's what you're thinking. Did you brush your teeth first? Go brush your teeth. Alright, just brush your teeth. Okay. Get socks and shoes on. Get ready to go. Get your bag ready. Yeah, this order flow is just slow and yeah, it's nasty. Exhausting is what it is. It's like makes you tired just sitting in such a tight range. But like I said, if those of you guys that are newer traders, this is summertime, right? We do happen to have a little bit more volatility because of all the geopolitical issues that are going on around the world. But summertime, you know, you get these 25, 30 point ranges.
Are you still in a long, Jared?
People have been spoiled with the volatility.
Did Jared leave?
Let me see.
Jared's the one holding the market up. He's like doubling in on the D low.
Yeah, he's still.
Yeah, he's adding in all the way down. And did he get out?
No, he's still in here. I don't know. Probably not. Getting kids to brush their kids. Oh, getting kids to brush their teeth is tiring. My kids just do what they're supposed to do for the most part. They're pretty good kids. But I don't treat my kids like kids. I treat them like little people. Tiny humans.
There's quite a bit of different value from 38.89 to 38.89.50.
38.89 to 38.89.50. Oh, you're talking about the volume increase up there?
Yeah, the volume. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
holy shit. It's like 4,000. It's like 1/3.
Yeah, today's a tricky day because we do have value higher. We have the gap, but we also haven't really seen much upside since the initial move up on the open. You know, so it's a tough place because if you're getting, you know, long here during the lows and you're not really taking profit, you know, we could easily start to see these buyers that are up here getting tired and, you know, get a liquidation to the downside for sure. Whoa. What is that about? Okay, so Russia's seeking oil payments from India. Goldman Sachs aluminum and zinc expected to outperform copper if gas flows remain at 0. The US dollar's pulling back. What is this thing? More tapering at the low and still no continuation. You're up close. Let's see if they get any movement off of this. Break above 93, we should see some short covering this time here. We've got mechanical levels here, the D high, the C high, both mechanical, C off the open, D off the half back. Tapering on the low, right, starting to look like a B profile. If we look here, typically that can mean that shorts are getting trapped down here and that the move down might have just been a little bit of liquidation. You know, we'll see really if they're able to pop that C open. That'll be looking to test those highs. Below that, remember, we do have another gap below, which is just an indication of a emotional market. People trying to prepare for earnings, not really knowing what's going to go on, and kind of more gambling than trading. But yeah, other than that, I think I am going to call it right here. You know, the market's just been kind of doing a big nothing. My wife's on her way home. We're going to go get some lunch. It's lunchtime for me. We'll probably see the market slow down as a lot of New York people are getting ready to go to lunch as well. Market's already been slow, so I don't know what I'm saying slow down, how much tighter the range can actually get. If this is your first time checking us out on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, welcome. Glad to have you. Make sure that you like and subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow morning around 9 a.m. Eastern time. If you are interested in joining our Discord, you know, just comment down below the video and I'll message you on there with the Discord link. The only thing that we ask is that you be positive and respectful. We have a really good community and don't want to ruin it. So yeah, but other than that, make sure that you guys are managing risk and sticking to your trade plan. And if you don't have a trade plan, make a trade plan and don't trade. And if you don't know how to make a trade plan, jump in the Discord, ask somebody, say, hey, I don't know how to make a trade plan. What should I do? And someone will definitely help you out. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day and I will catch you guys later.
All right, bud. See you later.
See you, Dan.
Thank you.
See you guys. See you, everybody.
See you, bro.